Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nerdtooine and Movie Podcast. I am your host, Nerdpool Prime. Thank you so much for joining me. We got a big day ahead of us, breaking down all of the news that I thought was important for DC Fandom 2021. Before I start off, I want to say thank you, like I said, for joining me, as well as if you're listening to this on iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening, please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, whatever it is on that platform. I'm pretty much everywhere, but Apple Podcasts. Still waiting on a response. I might have to reapply, I guess. But that being said, let's get into what you came for. DC Fandom Breakdown. So they opened it off with a bang and they showed the Black Adam trailer. Now, for me, I was really happy. Like, really happy with what I saw from the Black Adam. It was a very short clip. It was just basically his introduction into the DC universe, with some storyboards and like backstory with it. The Rock is going to be a fantastic character. Fantastic casting for that character. It just looks right. He's just an imposing figure that is going to shake things up in the DC universe. We got to see, we didn't get to see him in suit, but we go Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. And then we also got to see Hawkman, and not in the suit, Atom Smasher, Cyclone. But what it really was just that one scene where he just literally electrocuted someone into ash, and then caught a bullet, and then just levitated off the ground. It just screamed this dark and gritty, just awesome slobber knocker of a movie, and I'm really excited for that. And it looks like, for me, I feel like what DC needs to do at this point is hopefully start over. And I feel like the Flashpoint is going to give them, the Flash movie is going to give them that ability to move forward and it not be dragged down by all of their past mistakes. That was a huge thing for me. We got to see a little bit about Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2? Yeah, Aquaman 2. The return of his arch nemesis. I'm drawing a blank what his name is all of a sudden. This is crazy. Black Manta. Wow. I think Black Adam threw me off. We didn't really get much of that. So that's we know that's coming. We know what to expect from that, in my opinion. But we did get a breaking news exclusive DC Fandom announcement. Static Shock is getting not only a live action, but a full-length animated movie. And this was dropped exclusively by the creators on DC Fandom. I could not be more excited. We knew about the live action for a while now, really. Like I feel like if you had your ear to the ground, you knew this was coming down eventually. But to get an actual confirmation that it's going to happen, it just sounds awesome to me. Michael B. Jordan, from what they said, is going to be attached to it as well, so that can only be good for the future. I'm a huge fan of Static Shock, and I tried to bring Static books. Like, the new series is out, and it's really good, like really good. And people just kind of slept on it for whatever reason. Like I've said before, I sell comics on Whatnot, and I bring books that I feel like are either really good, have really good artwork. Like, there's always a reason why I bring it to the show. I don't just put on anything on my Whatnot shows. So if I bring a book, it's like, hey, I got this. I feel like you should want this too. Not sure. I do throw in some books that aren't like important or whatever, but like that. I was trying to hype up that Static book and no one was taking it. So I'm glad I still have a whole bunch because no one seemed to want them. But that's your loss and my gain. We also did get a lot about the Peacemaker TV show. We got a first look at what Vigilante is going to look like. He's this awkward character. I'm really looking forward to seeing that take on the character because, to my knowledge, I don't remember ever seeing something like that. But I think that's going to be interesting. And the producers called it basically The Office for superheroes because there's got this like workplace drama at the center of this superhero comedy series on HBO Max. I'm very much looking forward to it. It looks really funny. It looks though that it has a real soul to it. Like it came off to me as this heartfelt tale of a quote unquote superhero who has demons. The relationship with his father is pretty much exactly what made him into the, let's say, person that he is today. And I think HBO Max is the perfect place for it. It can go really crazy, and they don't have to worry about it being too much for like cable TV or like primetime TV, whatever you want to call it. James Gunn wrote all the episodes of the first season and directed 5 of them, and we're hoping that it does well, because if it does well, then there's a chance that there could be a second season, which means obviously he's not going to die in this first season because you can't have a Peacemaker show without Peacemaker. All right, moving on. We had Jim Lee had some big Superman news. He said the Action Comics book that drops on the 26th, which will be, let's see, what today is, the 17th, which will be coming up soon. So next Wednesday. Wow, is it 26th? Doesn't it come out on Wednesdays? Okay, the one that comes out next week is one you're not going to want to miss. It's going to change the mythos of Superman forever. They're changing Superman's motto. It's now going to be truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Because it used to be truth, justice, and the American way. So that's good that they've finally broken that. Now I'm going to take a step back a little bit from DC Fandom to talk about something that I've noticed, I saw, and I didn't comment on. John Kent. He was confirmed to be bisexual in the comics. And first and foremost, I want to say I have absolutely no problem with this. But I want to talk about it because there are people who do have a huge problem with it. And that is a problem. So, for me, it shouldn't matter one way or the other, whether he's bisexual, straight, gay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that he's Superman. He's still a Kryptonian with superpowers, can do everything Superman can do. So why does it matter who the hell he loves? That's right. It doesn't. It doesn't make him any less of a hero. It doesn't make it any. It doesn't affect anything, except who the character is. Who the character loves. And I talked about this when I was on the One True Nerd King's Instagram. We went live. Check him out. I'll have a tag in the description. We did a great live session. We talked about this. Like, first of all, it's a fictional character, so it doesn't matter. I mean, we love these characters. We like take them at more than what they are. These characters mean things to us. I get that. But it's still just a fictional character. So the sexual preference of a fictional character should not have any problem or any effect on you as a person. And if it does, you might want to take a good look at yourself. Just saying. Okay? Now, besides the fact that it's just a character, it's also an alien. An alien. Why? Okay, so if you don't have a problem with an alien getting with a human, then it shouldn't matter whether it's a boy, girl, a robot. It shouldn't matter anything at that point. If you're saying, oh, an alien's okay to have sex with a female human, already right there, your opinion is disqualified. If you have a problem with the character's sexuality. In my opinion, I'm sorry, because it's a alien. They don't have the same rules as us. I mean, it's not from this planet. And you're complaining that he's bi. It's pretty sad. All right. Back to DC Fandom. They also announced League of Super Pets, which is going to be a buddy cop kind of story, what it seems, with The Rock and Kevin Hart voicing both Crypto and Ace. And I feel like that's gonna be hilarious. Confirmed for 2022 June. I think June 20th is what they said. They also confirmed Doom Patrol Season 4. That's a DC Fandome exclusive as well. I'm a little disappointed in myself because I haven't even watched Season 1. I'm going to have to probably take a close look at that series and give it a shot. I had nothing against it. I never thought that it was going to be bad or anything like that. I just never took the time to watch it. When it started ramping up and everyone started talking about it, when they got Cyborg on the show, and while Cyborg has been a member of the Doom Patrol, it's fine, no problem there. His announcement was around the same time they were ramping up for Justice League with Ray Fisher as Cyborg. And I just could never get behind a different version of Cyborg. I love the Justice League's take. I'll say this. The Zack Snyder's cut Justice League's take on that character. It was it really fleshed him out and allowed you to see who that character was at their core. And I think that was something at their core where the mother box was. Something I really was glad to see, but it looks like that's over. So maybe I should get into this new show, so I can get myself a little more Borg in my life. Booyah. So I'm going to take a quick break here, and then when I come back, I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of exclusives and awesome stuff, including The Flash, and Justice League, Blue Beetle, and, of course, later on, The Batman. Stay tuned. This episode of Nerdtooine and a Movie Podcast is sponsored by DuffyBoysComics.com. Vicious Circle Halloween Special, first ever Duffy Boys exclusive, now available. Limited to 300. DuffyBoysComics.com. Welcome back. So, let's get right into it. The Flash. Okay, I have also been very vocal about how much I am looking forward to this movie as well. They gave us a lot in a very little bit of time. They did drop some amazing little callbacks. I felt like the suit we saw in this movie trailer was a lot closer to the Injustice suit than I thought it would be, and I think that's very fitting considering what the next topic I'll talk about with the Injustice animated movie coming up. But it was really great to see Supergirl or Superwoman, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, and then two Flashes in the Batcave with that famous cowl. So it definitely, and I've watched it a few times, and I'm pretty sure that instead of his father getting framed, it looks like he framed Batman. Now, okay, that's a big change from what I thought was going to happen. Um, which would mean that the Batman we see is probably a much darker and angrier version of this Cape Crusader, because he would have been a villain from very early on. And that would be very interesting to see. Now, I did postulate that because they dropped like chess piece work for a couple of characters, Batman, as well, which had bloodstain on it, which kind of just blood splatter, which kind of just confirms my theory about him being much darker and angrier and more violent. And then the super, I'm gonna say Supergirl. I feel like I'm wrong there, but as well as what looked like a Batman armor with the Flash spray painted over it. And I had postulated maybe that was the Red Death, and it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going to be just another version of Barry. I'm guessing who becomes Batman in his universe. I don't know. But it was interesting. They said you can travel to any time, any place, any universe, implying that Barry has the ability to transverse the multiverse in the DCEU. Which would be kind of interesting. And I at first I didn't like the casting of Ezra Miller. It was a lot better in the Zack Snyder cut, Justice League, but this, I don't know. I got real hype about him as Barry now. I don't remember Barry ever having black hair, but whatever. I mean, that I definitely think that with this multiversal Flashpoint style story that it looks like they're obviously going towards, I'm all here for it. I'm super stoked, super stoked. The Flash has the ability to do so much for the DC EU, DC Extended Universe, in case anyone doesn't know. I'm really looking forward to it. And then that's a great segue into Injustice League, the animated movie. It's definitely going to be an adult movie. I do like that it was first a game, then a comic, and now an animated movie. They did talk about how there will be some of the super moves from the game actually in the movie. Like, apparently the creators of the movie literally design certain scenes setting up so that they could put those super moves into the game. I love this story. Just I've not been one to shy away from the fact I'm not a big fan of Superman. I do not like this all-powerful character that can pretty much do whatever he wants and chooses not to, and then stupid little green rock can stop him. That's always bothered me. But that's why I like The Boys, and that's why I like Invincible, because it has these characters who have all the power of gods and use it how they see fit, and not this truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. No, it's like, I can literally fry you with my heat vision, die. Like, that is what I look for in a character like that. That's why I think I've always drifted away from Superman, because he's not like that. But the Injustice League, he does exactly that. So the movie is not necessarily going to follow the games or the comics straight through, but there are two, to my knowledge, there are two versions of events that happen. One where Joker, both the stars are the same. Joker tricked Superman into killing Lois, which we do see in the trailer, almost exactly to what I remember from the comics. And then Superman kills the Joker and turns into this like basically Omni-Man regime type thing where he just took over the planet. And then there's the other version where Batman kills the Joker and then just puts himself in jail. And there's a great scene in that comic where Superman comes to visit Batman in jail, and he just walks through the wall that was like you know how they go see people in the cell and they got that plexiglass in between them and they're talking through the phone. Yeah, Superman just walks right through and is like, just say the word and I'll take you out of here. And he's like, nope, I did it. I killed the Joker, so I need to be in here. And he's like, yeah, and he basically was having fun because he was there with all the bad guys and they just get to fight him all the time. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Injustice is. I'm not a big fan of the fighting games. I'm just not very good at them. I'm just a button masher. I have no problem admitting that. I play predominantly sports games and some shooting games, but for the most part, it's just sports. But I did play and thoroughly enjoyed the video games, and I always said, like, the cutscenes are basically a movie. Just put them together and bam, give me a movie, and ta-da, they're giving us a movie. So I'm super excited about that. Then they had a little bit about Blue Beetle. We got our first official look at the concept art. I've always been a fan of Blue Beetle. He's kind of a different character than most of the people in the DC universe because he doesn't necessarily want to be a hero. He just kind of becomes one. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it because, you know, it's one of those things that it really could go either way. I could totally see it being pretty bad. In regards to the fact that I can see the studio not backing it the way they need to. They did get a good director, Angel, probably Angel Manuel Soto, and the main character of Cobra Kai, which I'm a big fan of, is going to play Jaime Reyes. And I really think that if the studio gives them the ability to do what they need to do, it's going to be amazing. The concept art looked freaking fantastic. I couldn't have asked for anything better. If they can deliver that suit, like it's chosen the concept, it might be the most comic book accurate suit that we've ever seen. And I'm so here for it. So here for it. All I know is that if Booster Gold shows up, it better be Joel McHale because he is perfect for Booster Gold. Joel McHale for Booster Gold. There can be no other casting. Moving on. They also announced and confirmed a release. Catwoman Hunted will be the first animated full-length Catwoman movie, and I'm excited for that. Catwoman's just a fantastic character in just about every way, shape, and form. Just about every rendition except for Halle Berry was phenomenal. And nothing against Halle Berry, but that was just a horrible movie. That just absolute trash. Moving on. So Batgirl, we finally got some confirmation of some things that I was definitely worried about. So they didn't drop much. They didn't have any concept design or anything like that, but they did say that the creators of the movie confirmed that Batgirl will have a cowl and she will have red hair. Thank the Lord. I you know, there's very few things about characters that have to be spot on. And hair color in my opinion should. Especially with an iconic character such as Batgirl, or for that matter, Mary Jane. I know that Zendaya is not playing Mary Jane. She's just playing MJ, which is why I don't have a problem with her not having red hair. But they could be any race they want, but they better have red hair if they're playing Mary Jane or or Batgirl. Excuse me. But yeah, and I I don't know how I feel about the casting. It had one of the people from In the Heights, and I'm a huge fan of In the Heights, and I think my problem is I'm just so in love with the Bat family characters that there's a lot of chance that it goes wrong for me. Like I have nothing against Leslie Grace being Batgirl, but I do think that I have my reservations. I have my doubts. But again, I've had my doubts on other casting that have been unbelievable. I think about it. Anyone who says that they thought that they were happy with the casting of Heath Ledger as the Joker, they're lying to you. Like the internet blew up. Like how could they possibly let him be the Joker? And then he delivered one of the most iconic performances in the history of time. Now I'm not saying that we're gonna get that in this Batgirl movie, but hey, I'm not gonna write it off just yet. Moving on, they did announce also Brenton Thwaites, the actor who plays Dick Grayson / Nightwing on the Titans TV series, which is now on HBO Max. It was originally a DC Universe original, but now it's over on HBO Max. And DC Fandom Exclusive Season 4 is confirmed, which is great because I'm been a huge fan of the show. We got Red Hood. We also got an amazing Barbara Gordon, and I've been really impressed so far. But there's very few things about the show that I wasn't like just blown away and just ecstatic about. I didn't like the Joker laugh because, as you all know, I could do a better one. If you're not going to show the Joker like an actor, get the best laugh you can possibly get, and what they delivered was not the best. Moving on, there's going to be another Batman animated series. It's going to be a like film noir Batman animated series that I think has a lot of potential. It's called Batman Caped Crusader. It has a lot of inspiration from the old black and white noir movies, but it's not going to be black and white. One of the creators did say he's going to try to convince them to let him get one black and white episode, but it's going to be very much in the style of the Batman animated series. It's going to kind of like pick up that vibe, and I'm totally here for it. All right. We're going to take one more quick commercial break. We're going to hear from our sponsors. And then we're going to talk about the one thing everyone's been waiting on, the Batman trailer. Now, there were a couple other announcements in DC fandom that I didn't get my take on, like Lois and Clark getting another season, and Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Now, I truly enjoyed Shazam 1, and I think Fury of the Gods is going to be great too. But I'm not excited for it. I don't know. I got this feeling that they're gonna try to do too much, and I'm sorry if he's not gonna cross over with Shazam, then what's the point? I mean, with Black Adam, what's the point? I'm really, really, really worried that it's going to be not connected, or that somehow it's going to be changed and they're not going to be in the same universe, and I'm going to be very upset. So I didn't comment on it. I'm going to leave my aspersions to it aside and just let everyone else get excited for it. And, I mean, I'll still see it. Like everything I'm not excited for, I still go see in the theaters. I mean, unfortunately, I'll admit I didn't go see Black Widow in the theaters because I paid for it through Disney Plus Premiere, and I wasn't that impressed with it. Like, think about it this way. I got Suicide Squad for free through HBO Max and then went and saw it the next day in the theaters. And actually brought someone. Like, I watched it for free and then bought 2 tickets to go see it the very next day when I could have just watched it again in the house. Like, it was that good. Like, I went and saw Shang-Chi in theaters the day it was released on my birthday, and I was super excited about it. And I'll take it one step further. I know that if they would have released that at the same time as digital release, I would have bought it in home and then gone and seen it on my birthday anyways. Now, I could be a tad biased because, you know, it was my birthday, but I feel like if the movie is good enough, it doesn't matter how it's released. People will go see it in theaters anyways. Because like I said, I went and saw Suicide Squad. I saw it for free. I could have watched it. I watched it a whole bunch of times for free, but I went and made sure I saw it in theaters. Because I mean, these movies are designed for that. And I mean, think about it. If you would have saw Endgame for the first time or never saw it in theaters, you just saw it in your house, I mean, it wouldn't be the same. But I digress. Like I said, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. And when I return, we're going to talk about the Batman. Stay tuned. This episode of Nerdtooine and a Movie Podcast is sponsored by DuffyBoysComics.com. Vicious Circle Halloween Special, first ever Duffy Boys exclusive, now available. Limited to 300. DuffyBoysComics.com. Welcome back. So, Matt Reeves, the Batman, first real look. The first one is considered a sneak peek trailer. This one really dove deep into how this movie is going to be, and it looks dark, it looks gritty, it looks amazing. I've been saying it since the very first trailer, and I'm so happy that everyone's finally jumping on the bandwagon after the second trailer. This movie's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And anyone who doesn't think that is, I think, biased and needs to take a step back and just watch the movie or just watch the trailers. After the first two trailers, I'm like blown away. People who have their aspersions to Robert Pattinson playing Batman because of his role in Twilight. This man is a fantastic actor, an absolutely phenomenal actor. And this is going to change a lot of people's perceptions of him, because there are some people who didn't see a lot of his other work because they're like real movies. I mean, I hate to use that phrase because superhero movies are real movies, and they're definitely cinema no matter what any of the established people in the industry might say. But what I mean by real movies is one that's not a superhero movie, that is just a movie. Like, he's been in a lot of great things and done a lot of great work, so I'm super excited about that. And you can see the round table that they had. It was just Matt Reeves, Pattinson, and Zoe Kravitz, and you could just see the chemistry between Kravitz and Pattinson, and it makes for a really great dynamic for Batman and Catwoman. And after watching the second trailer, I'm 100% sold on Zoe as Catwoman. I didn't have any doubts really prior, but like I was like, I wonder what route they're gonna go. I'm all for it. And a lot of the scenes looked like they were like one where he like jumped down and made like this crash, like all the glass and everything flying around. It kind of reminded me of like one of those great Lee Bermejo covers for like Detective Comics recently, and I'm so here for it. Like I said, I've been saying it since the first trailer. This is going to be the best Batman movie we've ever had. You don't believe me? Zack Snyder saw the trailer and said this looks amazing, and I couldn't agree more. Colin Farrell looks unrecognizable as the Penguin, but he knocks out the park. Like, from what I heard, that he's not going to be in the movie that much, and I'm okay with that. Because I as amazing as he looks and as he sounds as the Penguin, I want Catwoman and Batman. And I feel like this movie is going to be like almost like Seven, where the bad guy has already done all the deeds and is in lockup, kind of torturing the lead detective. I definitely think that's how it's going to go. We saw in the trailer, the first one, where Batman's surrounded by police and he gets jumped by him. I think that's gonna have something to do with what he does in that scene where he's talking to, obviously, I'm guessing the Riddler, when he punches the glass. But wow, it had so much to love in that trailer. Batman all dirty, just looking up like he'd just been through a war. I just, oh man, I can't talk enough about how much I'm looking forward to the Batman. I mean, like, this is going to be the first one where we see him as a true detective. I mean, I still hold that the best Batman is Michael Keaton. I was not a fan of. So this is how I break it down. For Batman, you have to be a good Bruce Wayne and a good Batman. In my opinion, Michael Keaton is the only one who did both. Val Kilmer was a great Bruce Wayne, bad Batman. Sorry, other way around. He was a great Batman, bad Bruce Wayne. George Clooney, great Bruce Wayne, horrible Batman. Christian Bale did a decent job at both, but I feel like his "I'm Batman" was just too much. It just was. The reason why the Dark Knight trilogy, in my opinion, is so highly touted as an achievement is not necessarily because of Batman, but because of the villains. Scarecrow was done amazingly, as well as Ra's al Ghul, and of course, iconic The Joker by Heath Ledger. Even though I didn't like much of Dark Knight Rises, I did enjoy Hardy as Bane. I mean, it did leave some things to be desired, but I felt like it was pretty decent. The one thing I didn't like was the voice. Right? I mean, I forgot to talk about Harley Quinn. Yeah, they're working on Harley Quinn the new season. I'm excited about that too. Sorry about that. Great show. I'm a huge fan. I'm surprised I missed it. But back to Batman. And then, of course, West. I mean, Adam West as the original Batman. He was the more comic, like the original. Like there's a span of time in like the 70s, I think, and 80s, where Batman was kind of a parody of himself before he got revitalized and brought back to the roots of being dark and gritty. Like, I definitely think this is going to like deconstruct and recreate the mythos of Batman better than any of the other movies to this date. I forgot to Ben Affleck as Batman. I still to this day don't know how I feel about Batfleck, to be 100% honest. Sometimes I think it was great casting. Some I think it's horrible. I can't decide. There's my love / hate for the DCEU is palpable right now because I've disliked a lot of things that they've done up to this point, but I have high hopes now. Between the Batman, of course, I'm just super ecstatic about this movie. The Flash, and of course all the animated stuff they're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing Blue Beetle. Oh man, I'm just really excited all the way around because this is another great DC fandom. That's 2 years in a row now that they've dropped bombshells after bombshell after bombshell, and I know there's a lot of people who are strictly Marvel fans that are a little freaked out right now, even with Spider-Man No Way Home, The Eternals, and Doctor Strange right around the corner. But another thing we can take away from DC fandom is that 2022, barring some unforeseen situation, is going to be one of the greatest years for nerds with everything that's been announced for both DC and Marvel. I'm super excited moving forward, and I hope that the Flash and the Batman live up to my high expectations and how I feel things are going to play out. But if we get a Flashpoint movie and we don't have Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Flashpoint Batman, I'm gonna be pissed. But other than that, it was a great day. I'm really excited for everything we got today from the DC fandom. I say today, even though it's technically yesterday by the time you guys will be listening to this. But yeah, DC fandom knocked out the park again. I'm just so happy right now. It was just a great day of news for DC. But that's all I have. I know I left out some things. And like I said, I completely forgot to mention the Harley Quinn. They had a nice little bit with Harley Quinn and King Shark about how he ate the hard drive. But DC fandom. I'm really, really happy with what happened. So if you liked what you heard or liked what you saw or something I missed, do me a favor, please comment below. Let me know what you thought. And until next time, take it easy. This is Nerdpool Prime, signing off.